The time is 1:20 p.m. in Jerusalem. Jerusalem time, 1:20 p.m. and with permutations, 1:20 can be 10:20 because let's say it's 1020 can be written in 24 different ways or something, I think like that, 24, I forgot. If you combine them, so 10:20 can be 0201, it could be 0102, so then it could also be 0120. It can be 10:20, but what's 10:20, you might ask? 1:20 is the time, but 10:20 is today. 10th month is Tevet, and 20 is the 20th day. But what's that, you might ask? This is the 820th yahrzeit of Rabbi Moses ben Maimon, Rabbi Moshe ben Maimon, known as the Rambam. And he was a great leader, a great rabbi, Torah scholar, and codifier of Jewish law. Let's see, Rambam. And Maimonides. I'll read just a little bit and get to the point of why I'm doing this at this time on this day. Moses ben Maimon, commonly known as Maimonides, and also referred to as Hebrew acronym Rambam, was a Sephardic Jewish rabbi. I'm just thinking this is really amazing because the gematria of Rambam, if I'm not mistaken, is 280. So if it's his 820th, okay. I want to get too carried away. But it says here, he passed away on December 12th of 1204. So, I don't know how it could be 820. I'll just read the first thing and then we won't jump around to too many places, okay? Moses ben Maimon, commonly as Maimonides, and also referred to as the Rambam, was a Sephardic Jewish rabbi who was widely acknowledged as one of the most prolific and influential Torah scholars of the Middle Ages. Originally from Cordoba, he was born on Passover Eve of 1135 or 1138. Okay, and he codified the Jewish law, and very prolific life. And he passed away in the year 1204. So I want to find out exactly what it is. So we're in 2026 minus, 2026 minus 1204. It's the 800, I'm sorry. So it's the 822nd, not 820th. I might have been looking at a different, it's the 822nd yahrzeit. I guess that page I looked at was from 2 years ago. 822. Okay. So anyway, because his 822nd yahrzeit is today, and we are now in the 8th hour of the day, and let's see here, you could say the 8th or the 7th hour depending on which calculation you're using, But anyway, I decided it would be a good idea to include into my daily learning system. I have a Daf Yomi, I have other things I do daily, to do a daily Rambam. It would connect me with the energy of the Chabad world. And, it's very strange that when I started Daf Yomi, the very first thing that I started on was like it was like a weird thing. It was like an animal, like a bestiality kind of a thing. Like that's how I'm starting. It's like weird, but you just never know when the inspiration comes and why we do things and what they are connected to. So I feel similar to that, to the Rambam thing here, that I decided that on his yard site, on the 20th day of, I want to say one thing about him that I'm connecting, because Rabbi Wolf said something about the Mashiach, that Rambam had Mashiach energy. There was controversy. He wasn't like unanimous. He wasn't like this monolithic, in his day. He became like the leader of Jewish thought and the codifier of Jewish law today. But it wasn't always that way. He had many rabbis who disagreed with him and really didn't like him at all. So Rabbi Wolf said that he has the Mashiach energy, and I will just quote something before we start, because I think if you go through history, you go through history and you really want to analyze things with a fair mind. You have to be fair to all things, but like the Ashkenaz world reveres the Rambam, was a Sephardi, like Jewish. And not only that, and vice versa. I mean, Rashi, who was an Ashkenaz rabbi, is not all the Sephardim use Rashi. So it's kind of, so Mashiach is maybe Shalom Yisrael. That's an acronym. Maybe Shalom Yisrael. What's the Ches? The Ches is Chasidi, Chiloni, Chardali, Chalomi, Haredi, Chasidi, Chalomi, Chachmi, wise, dreamer, whatever. So Mashiach makes peace between everyone. And so the Rambam made these 13 principles, and I heard people talking about it, and it wasn't so clear that these 13 principles were so monolithic. Right now, it's like Judaism became like, these are the 13 principles, but like Rabbi Daniel Gladstein was saying that, I think I'm quoting from his shir recently, he said that the Chassam Sofer had an issue with this. He said, who are you to make principles? Why is one mitzvah greater than the other? Why are these the 13? They're all equal. Why are these? Who is the Rambam to say to codify it exactly in this way? But anyway, the important thing is, and this is why I'm doing this, this is going to be the paradox, is that I will draw from the Rambam's energy, Mashiach energy. Rambam worded it out in this way, and this is very famous. It's a song, and it's a famous article of faith. It's it is the 12th article of faith. Ani mamin b'emunah shlima b'viat HaMashiach v'afal pi sheyes mamea im kol zeh achar lo b'chol yom she'yavo. Afal pi sheyes mamea im kol zeh achar lo b'chol yom she'yavo. I believe with a perfect faith in the coming of Messiah. Even though he may tarry, even so, I will wait for him, that every day that he will come. Amen. And so now that we're, and I was reading that right around 8:22, we have 8:22 minutes of the video, which is really also very singularity kind of a thing. So what I will do is put this on pause, be back in a few moments, and we'll start the first chapter where they are with Chabad today. Chabad has 2 cycles of Rambam. They have 1 chapter a day and you finish in 3 years, or you can do 3 chapters a day and you finish in 1 year. So I'm going to go with the longer route, and also I'm making a non-committal clause. Sounds not so great, but if things pick up, I'm going to try to do it every day. I will be, so try is not a good word, right? Making an effort to do it every day, and it may stay, just like the Daf Yomi, it may be from Shemaim that just keeps me doing it, and but if it I'm giving like a flexibility clause. But should be every day. So on this 822nd yahrzeit. Okay, my candle here, and I'll be lighting this candle here. This is in memory of Rabbi Moshe ben Maimon, of blessed memory. May his memory be a blessing to us. Zechuto Yagen Aleinu. May his merit protect over us from the great work in Torah that he did. And may we merit to see the coming of the true Messiah, the Son of David, very soon and in our day. This is the purpose. This is the reason why I'm starting to learn the Rambam, because the Rambam is a massive thing in Chabad, and we all know in Lubavitch, and we all know what a great Mashiach effort and energy Lubavitch is. So if I can connect with that energy, then I think it would make all the difference in the world. Now, I mentioned something about something a little strange, but like when I started Daf Yomi on October 18th of 2023, which was the third day of Cheshvan, 5784, today is the 20th day of Tevet, 5786, and it is January 9th, 2026. Parshat Shemot, Daf Yomi, Zevachim 117. Like I mentioned, I'm starting an interesting thing. Well, I'm going to take a break and then come back to Ezer Hashem. Okay, I'm back, and just to say that I don't think it's too strange. Some people, it's not like in communicating with the dead, to talk to the person directly, because the Rambam, I believe the Rambam is in heaven right now, and Rambam knows who the Mashiach is. So I would say to the Rambam, with reverence and respect, we've lit a candle for you. This is the PL89 Gematriatic Quantum Thought Calendar. Mashiach Now, energy. And we ask you, since you wrote the Ani Mamin, to please guide us. You know who the Mashiach is right now. You know who the true Jewish Messiah is right now. I pray for your guidance I pray to God for your guidance. God can guide us, and that your wisdom also, your wisdom that God gave you, will help guide us to your God-given wisdom will guide us to the revelation of the true Jewish Messiah, the son of David and the son of Joseph. Amen. So, and with that, let's start the first Rambam. Now, like I said before, in Chabad, there's two different cycles. There's 3 chapters a day, and you finish in 1 year, and there's 1 chapter a day you finish in 3 years. So I'm going to opt for the longer cycle, and it's a little bit easier because of other commitments I have on a daily basis. Without further ado, I just want to say that when I started Daf Yomi, we started right in the middle of bestiality. That's where I came into it. So I have no idea why it was chosen for me to do that then. But in this thing is a similar thing. I'm coming into the Rambam according to the Chabad Daily Learning Program today, Friday, 20 Tevet, 5786, January 9, 2026. We're in the laws of mourning. And let's just say, may God comfort all those who mourn in Israel. The Rambam, Hilchos Avel, chapter 2. Avel means mourning, or Avel, chapter 2, from Yehoshua Sofer Chadash. Here we are. Elu She'adam chayav d'hitavel alehem din Torah imo ve'aviv beno vito achiv ve'achoto me'aviv. These are the relatives for whom a person is obligated to mourn, according to scriptural law. His mother, his father, his son, his daughter, his paternal brother and paternal sister. Umidivrehem shitabel ha'ish al ishto ha'nesua v'chen ha'isha al bala'a umitabel al achiv al achoto shehen imo. According to rabbinic law, a man should also mourn for his wife if she dies while they are married, and a woman should mourn for her husband. Similarly, a person should mourn for a maternal brother and sister. 2. Afilu hakohen she'eino mittameh le'achiv ve'achoto mimo le'achoto ha'nesua af al pi shehi me'aviv mitabel hu alehem. Even a priest who does not become impure for his maternal brother and sister, or for his paternal sister who is married mourns for them. Ve'im hayta achoto zo ha'nesua me'aviv harei hu mitabel aleha din Torah. For his paternal sister who is married, he is required to mourn by scriptural law. Bino achiv haba min hashivcha umin hanachris eino mesaben alein klal. A person who has a son or a brother born by a maidservant or a Gentile woman should not mourn for them at all. V'chein mi shnitgayer hu banav o shnishtacharer hu ve'imo ein mitablin ze al ze. Similarly, when a person and his sons convert, or a person and his mother are freed from slavery, they do not mourn for each other. V'chen ishto arusa eno mitabel aleha v'lo onen v'chen hi lo onenet v'lo mitabelet alav. Similarly, a person does not observe either the rites of aninut or the mourning rites for a wife whom he has consecrated but not married. Similarly, she does not observe either of these rites for him. Take a brief pause, and we shall return. Be'ezer Hashem. Okay, we're back to the daily Rambam. We're holding by Sif 4, I think. I might have read this, but I'll read it again anyway. Kol hakrovim shehu chayav lisabel aleihen harei ze misabelam imohem bifneihem midivrei sofrim. Whenever a person is obligated to mourn for a relative, he also mourns with that relative in his presence according to rabbinical law. Ketzad, how so? What is implied? Harei shemez ben beno achi beno או אין בנו חייב לקרוא בפני בנו ולנהוג אבלות בפניו, אבל שלא בפניו אינו חייב, וכן בשאר הקרובים. What is implied of a person's grandson, his son's maternal brother, or his son's mother dies, he is obligated to rend his garments in the presence of his son and follow the mourning rites while in his presence. Outside his presence, he is not obligated. Similar laws apply with regard to other relatives. 5. Ishto hanesua af al pi shehu mitabel aleha eino mitabel ima al shar krovea ela al avia ve'al ima mishum kivod ishto noheg avelut aleihem b'fanea. With regard to a wife with whom one is married, although one must mourn for her, he does not mourn together with her for her other relatives. With the exception of her father and her mother, he observes the rites of mourning for them in her presence. Ketzad, how so? Mi shemed hamato al chamiv koaf mitato v'noeg avilut im ishto b'fanea aval shelo b'fanea eino noeg avilut וכן איש השמד חמיה או חמותה נוהגת אבלות בפני בעלה. When a man's father-in-law or mother-in-law dies, he overturns his bed and observes the mourning rites together with his wife within her presence, but not outside her presence. Similarly, when a woman's father-in-law or mother-in-law dies, she observes the rites of mourning in her husband's presence. Avel mishal koveyan kigon shemei achi ishto bana isha shemei achi bala bana obeno em tablin zeim ze. With regards to other relatives, by contrast, for example, when the brother of one's wife or her son dies, or when the brother of one's husband or his son dies, they do not observe the mourning rites in respect for each other. Similarly, it appears to me that if the wife of a person's relative dies, or the husband of one of his relatives, for example, the wife of one's son or the husband of one's daughter, need not observe mourning rites for them, similar concepts apply in all analogous situations. שיעשה כמהן מסבל עליהם, שנאמר כי אם נשירו הקרוב אליו, לאמור לאביו, לה יתאמר, ויקרא כ"א בערב גמל, מצווה עשה שאם לא רצה להתאמן, מתאמן אותו בעל כורחו. See, okay, take a little break here, and we'll continue after the break. Okay, see, we're in 6, see how severe the mitzvah of mourning is, for the prohibition against ritual impurity is superseded, so the priest can tend to his relatives' burial and mourn for them, as Leviticus 21, 2-3 states. Except to one's flesh, to whom he is close, to his mother, to her shall he become impure. This is a positive commandment. If he does not desire to become impure, we force him to become impure against his will. במה דברים אמורים, זכורים שמוזרו על טומאה, אבל הכהנוס הוילין מוזרוס על הטומאה. כך אינן מצוות איתם לקרוא אויבים, אלא אם רצו מתאמריס. ואם לא, לא מתאמוס. Okay, to whom this is applied, the males who are commanded against contracting ritual impurity, different rules apply to female members of the priestly family, since they are not commanded against contracting ritual impurity. They are also not commanded to become impure when tending to their relatives' burial. If they desire, they may become impure, and if not, they do not become impure. We're only by 7 right now. And in this chapter, there are how many sifim? 15 sifim. Okay. I think we can bite the bullet, fly it down. And what I'll do is, let's see here, 7. Seven. From 7 on, no, we'll just read it right here. Isha shall call me tamala al korcho. You know what I'm going to do for time, and for when we get to 8, since 8 is Lamaylam and a Teva, we're going to do the hyperspace. And since the PL 89 starts with the number 8, when we get to Sif 8, what we'll do is read the whole Hebrew straight down, all the way to the end, and then the whole English all the way down, okay? So this is 7. Isha shall kol mitamila al korcho ve'en mitamila ela b'divrei soifrim asu k'meis mitzvah keven she'en la yoyre shelahu lo timsa mi she'yitasik ba el mitamel anaso b'levad aval ha'usa lo yitamla. A priest is forced to contract ritual impurity to tend to his deceased wife. This obligation is rabbinic in origin. Our sages had her considered as an unattended corpse. Since she has no other heir aside for him, there will be no one else to tend to her. He becomes impure only for a wife he has married. If he has merely consecrated her, he does not become impure for her. Okay, so now that we're at 8, we're going to start going Lamaylam and a Teva, and Lamaylam and his mom. וכן כל הנשמה אשר מתאבלין עליהן כגויין הרוגי בית דין ושפרשו מדרכי ציבור ונפלים בהמאבד עצמו לדעת אין הכהן מתאמר להם ויד מתי הוא מצווה להתאמר לקרוי ועבד שישים הגוילל אבל מאחר שנסתם הגוילל הרי הן כשאר כל המתים שאם נטמא בהן לא אשתו הפסולה אינה מתאמר לה לפיכך מי ששמע שמת בעלה וניסס ובא בעלה שניהם אין מתאמר לה שהרי היא פסולה על שניהם אבל מתאמא הוא לאמו אף על פי שהיא חללה וכן מתאמא לבנו לביתו לאחיו ולחדו אף על פי שהם פסולים להעביר להן ממזרים מתאמא להן אחותו נשואה אינו מתאמא לה אף על פי שהיא נשואה לכהן שנאמר בתולה קרובה אליו אשר לא הייתה לאיש ויקרא כ"א ג' הבתולה פרט לנוסה מהמפותה יכול שאני מוציא אף בוגרס או מוכת עץ תאמר לו אשר לא הייתה לאיש מי שהביאתה בידי איש אשר לא הייתה לאיש ויקרא כ"א ג' פרט לארוסה שאינה מתאמא לה אף על פי שהיא ארוסה לכהן נתגרשה אחותו מן האירוסין מתאמא לה שנאמר קרובה אליו להביא את המגרשת מן האירוסין אחיו ואחותו מאמו אינו מתאמא להן שנאמר לבנו ביתו אחיו ולאחותו ויקרא כ"א בנו הלוי לירושתו אף אחיו ואחותו הלוי לירושתו הספקות אינו מתאמא להן שנאמר לה יטמא ויקרא כ"א ג' מתאמא הוא על הוודאי ואינו מתאמא על הספק לפיכך הוולדוס שנתערבו והבן שהוא ספק בין 7 לאחרון או בין 9 לראשון וכן הוא יוצא בהן אינו מתאמא להם לספק וכן כל המתגרש שספק גירושינו וגט פסול אינו מתאמא לה אין הכהן מתאמא לעבר מן החיים מאביו ולובץ מעצמות אביו וכן המלקט עצמות אביו אינו מתאמא להן אף על פי שהשדרה כאמס נקטע ראשו של אביו אינו מתאמא לה שנאמר לאביו ויקרא כ"א ב' בזמן שהוא שלם ולא בזמן שהוא חסר וכן שהקרובים הטומאה לקרובים דחויה היא ולא הותרה על הכל לפיכך אסור לכהן להתאמם באמת אפילו בעת שמתאמא לקרוביו שנאמר לה יטמא ויקרא כ"א ג' ואינו מתאמא לכן עמם שלא יאמר הואיל נטמאתי על אבי על הכת עצמות פלוני או אגע בקבר פלוני לפיכך כהן שמת לא מת צריך להיזהר ולקברו בסוף בית הקברות כדי שלא ייכנס לבית הקברות ולא יטמא בקברות אחרים שיקבור ביתו. And now we finished 15 and now for the English. Starting from 8. And we're in hyper mode now. We'll pause for a moment. Pause around Eton. Okay, we're back. And for the English. Similarly, a priest, we're in 8. Similarly, a priest does not become impure for any of those individuals for whom we do not mourn, as stated above. For example, those executed by the court, those who deviate from the ways of the community, stillborn infants, and those who commit suicide. Until when does the mitzvah become impure? Apply until the grave is covered. Once the grave is covered, however, the graves of one's close relatives are like those of any other corpse. If a priest becomes impure for their sake, he should be punished by lashes. A priest should not become impure for the sake of a wife whom he is forbidden to marry. Therefore, if a woman heard a report that her husband died and hence remarried, and then her first husband came, neither husband should become impure for her sake, and she is forbidden to remain married to either of them. A priest may, however, become impure for the sake of his mother, even though she is a chalala, means a profaned one. Even he may become impure for the sake of his son, his daughter, his brother, and his sister, even though they are of tarnished lineage, even if they are illegitimate. he should become impure for their sake. 10. When a priest's sister is married, even to another priest, he does not become impure for her sake. As Leviticus 21:3 states, her virgin sister, who is close to him, who has not been with a man, virgin, excludes a girl who has been raped, or I think the let us go, have been violated, or seduced. I'm saying for YouTube probably, so hopefully they won't. Who has been beeped or seduced? Should we also exclude a woman who attained majority, or a woman who lost her signs of virginity because of reasons other than relations? The Torah teaches who has not been with a man, meaning excluded, is the one who lost her virginity because of a man who has not been with a man. This also excludes a sister who has been consecrated. He does not become impure for her sake, even if she is consecrated to a priest. If, however, a priest's sister is divorced after consecration before marriage, she must become impure for her sake. The phrase, who is close to him, includes a sister divorced after consecration. A priest does not become impure for the sake of his maternal brother and sister, as implied by Leviticus 21:2-3. To his son and to his daughter, to his brother and to his sister, just as we are speaking of a son who is fit to inherit his father's estate, so too he must be fit to inherit the estates of his brother and his sister. A priest does not become impure for the sake of relatives whose family connection is doubtful, as implied by Leviticus 21:3. To her shall become impure. He becomes impure for those whose connection is definite, not for those whose connection is doubtful. Accordingly, in an instance where children become intermingled, if there is a son concerning whom there is a question whether he was born after 7 months from conception to his mother's later husband, or after 9 months to her first husband, and all alike, he does not become impure for their sake due to the doubt. No diggity, no doubt. Similarly, in all cases concerning divorce that involve a question concerning the validity of a divorce, or an invalid bill divorce, the priest does not become impure for the sake of his wife. A priest may not become impure for the sake of a limb severed from his father while alive, nor for the sake of one of his father's bones. Similarly, when one's father's bones are being collected, even if his entire backbone is intact, a priest may not become impure for their sake. 15. In his father's head. If his father's head is decapitated, he may not become impure for his sake. This is implied by Leviticus 21:2 to his father, meaning, at a time when his corpse is intact, and not when it is impaired. Similar laws apply with regard to other relatives. The prohibition against contact with ritual impurity is bypassed. With regard to one's relatives, it is not released entirely. For this reason, a priest is forbidden to become impure for the sake of another corpse at the time he has become impure for the sake of his relatives. This is implied by Leviticus 21:3. To her shall he become impure, meaning to her alone. He does not become impure for the sake of others together with her. He should not say, since I became impure for the sake of my father, I will go gather so-and-so's bones, or touch so-and-so's grave. Therefore, when the relative of a priest dies, care must be taken to bury him at the edge of the cemetery so that he will not have to enter the cemetery and become impure because of the other graves when he buries his dead. And that is chapter 2, folks, of Avel. Chapter 2, Avel, by the Rambam, of blessed memory, whose yard site is today, whose 822nd yard site, if I'm not mistaken, today. And you see we have our little candle lit for him, and we have Mashiach Now calendar, aka the PL89 Gematriatic Quantum Thought Calendar, Mashiach Now calendar, Mashiach is here, Mashiach Now calendar. And the Rambam said we wait for Mashiach every day. So, I think that'll do it. we're about 11:35. I mean, no, 2:35, but 35 minutes. Rambam was born at 11:35, so that'd be a really nice final touch to really